I met this girl when I was 10 years old, and what I loved most, she had so much soul. Hey everybody, it's Old School Heart back with another video for you guys. First things first, if you have not subscribed to this channel, do me a favor, hit that subscription button down below. Also, if you could like this video, the more likes that I have, the more videos or the more of my videos that will be exposed to a greater audience. So go ahead, hit that like button for me. Also, since we are contributing to a very important part of our community, it's so important for you guys to share these videos, and so that we can be a part of the conversation if these young black women are found. So as I told you guys before, for the month of March, I am going to be doing videos on missing black women called Where My Girls At. So this is episode 2 of Where My Girls At, Kierra Coles. Let's get into it. Now, some of you guys may be aware of who Kierra Coles is due to the social media attention that she received when she initially went missing. So I was pretty excited. I don't know if I could use that word, but I was pretty amped to research this missing person because I thought that I was going to have a plethora of information considering all the attention she had received. Unfortunately, upon investigating, reading different articles and different things like that, it was quite disappointing that there's not much information on Kierra Coles. So what I'm going to do is give you the information that I do know about Kierra Coles and then shift the conversation to how we maintain support for the family and support for finding her when media attention kind of dwindles down. So this is episode 2, Kierra Coles. Kierra Coles was a vibrant 26-year-old woman from Chicago, just like myself. Now, her family describes her as a go-getter. I believe she is the baby of the family. If not, she's one of the last kids of her parents. But they describe her as a go-getter, someone who was working towards her goals and actually achieving them. Mom Karen says that whatever Kierra wanted, she was getting. Kierra wanted a better job. Kierra got a better job. Kierra wanted to live alone in her apartment. She had an apartment alone in Chicago. Kierra wanted a brand new car. Kierra got a brand new car. And so everything that she was trying to obtain, she received. She worked as a city carrier assistant in Chicago. So basically, I had that role a couple of years ago myself. Basically, you assist the other mail carriers on their route. You can have a different route every day. And so I know from personal experience, you know, she must have been someone who was very smart, able to pick up things very quickly, because on a given day, you don't know where you're working. They can have you in one area in a neighborhood and switch you to a whole nother area, and you have to do it because you do not have a permanent position there. And so basically you're working towards getting a permanent position. They never offer you full-time, even though you work full-time hours. They never offer you a mail carrier position when you first come in. So Kierra had to be quick-witted. She had to be smart. She had to know how to adapt to change and different things like that just from that job, you know. And she had been working that job probably a year and a half prior. They said July of 2017 or somewhere around that time. So she had been a city carrier for quite some time. It takes, like I said, it takes a while to be a mail carrier. So she was definitely working towards her goal. Now, about a month before, Kierra revealed to her family that she was expecting a child. And so when she went missing, which was October 2nd, 2018, Kierra was 3 months pregnant. Now, prior to her going missing, or the day before she was reported missing, Karen, Kierra's mother, said that she had talked to Kierra on the phone. And basically Kierra was just asking her questions about pregnancy, specifically about, what types of milk she can drink as a pregnant woman. Now, the family has said that, Kierra was the last of the bunch to have a child. She was the last child of her parents to have a child. And so she was excited about this, and they were excited for her because she's the last one, of course. And so, I said before, the last conversation that her mom had with her was just asking her different questions about pregnancy, because she wanted to make sure that she was eating healthy and making sure she was safe, and making sure that whatever she fed herself was going to also be a nourishment to her baby. And so her and her mother had a discussion about that. She also told her mother that her boyfriend would be coming over later on in the night, and they were going to spend the night together. And so that was the last conversation that Kierra had with her mom or anybody in the family, I believe. I believe she may have talked to her cousin. I'm not too sure. I couldn't find any records on that, but the cousin did say that they did have some type of a conversation either the day before or 2 or 3 days before. Now, the day that Kierra Coles went missing, she was scheduled to work her shift at the postal office. And so when she went missing and CPD was investigating, they did find surveillance of a young woman in what appeared to be a city carrier uniform walking on the same block that Kierra Cole lived in. Now, this video circulated to some of the top news stations here in Chicago: ABC, NBC, CBS. Now, what the parents have said was, upon looking at that video over and over again, it took them nothing but a second to realize that that was not Kierra. And they have been adamant about the fact that that was never Kierra, and that CPD should have made it known that that was not her in that video. However, a video like that did go out to all the news outlets and was used as the last seen video of Kierra Coles on October 2nd. Now, according to some of the news articles that I read, before Kierra was supposed to go to this shift, she did call in and request the day off. Now, I don't know if it was a medical request, but there was a request off. Now, the city carrier or the mail, the specific mail station that she worked at, would not reveal the nature of that call or why she called off. But there was a call made that she would not be coming in on that particular day. Now, once they reported her missing, they did go to her house just to see exactly where she might be, or if anybody knew of any information, because we're talking about a 3-month pregnant woman here. And so what they did was they called a locksmith so that they can get Kierra Cole's door open to see if they can find any information in the car related to her disappearance. Now, what they found in the car was her purse, her lunch bag, and her cell phone. So they knew that if she didn't have those things, that something bad must have happened, or there was something definitely wrong with the situation, because no one, we can all say this, no black girl is going to leave her house without her purse and her cell phone. Now, the whole family has been adamant that Cole did not have any problems, that she was really optimistic about life, her future, and her pregnancy, and what was going to happen in the months to come. There was no derision amongst the family, so she wasn't upset or arguing with anybody or had any ill will toward anybody. And CPD does do an investigation and does, question the family and different people about, who Kierra was, who she hung with, what she did. And also, they reached out to the mail station that she had a position at, just to see if there was anything going on there. And, they had nothing to report as well. Kierra Cole was a hard worker. She was consistent. She did her job. And most people reported that they loved her. Now, the one thing that I found about this case, and I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I did want to just put it out there, that one of the articles that I read was about Cole's boyfriend. Now, initially, when Cole went missing, her boyfriend was very active in, the missing persons part, trying to get people involved in helping to find Kierra. Since then, the family said that the boyfriend has went MIA. They have not heard from him. They have not seen him. Now, it is important for me to note that even though he has went MIA, CPD has not investigated him, or there is no suspicion that he has anything to do with her disappearance. That is something that I believe, and I think, maybe the family might believe it as well, that if there was an issue with the boyfriend, he would have been questioned or would have been named a suspect early on. Now, initially, Kierra Cole's missing persons case was, I thought, going quite well because of the attention it was receiving from news media outlets to social media to even nationwide coverage. Everyone was kind of tuned in and focused on finding Kierra Cole because she was a city carrier, which is almost like a government position. And so, when anybody in the government goes missing, it becomes a little bit bigger than your average person that's missing. Not only that, she was pregnant, and so when reports of her went missing, it seemed as if this missing person was going to at least be found, discovered, or whatever. I had high hopes for this case, but now we are going on almost 3 years, and unfortunately, a Chicago Police Department has decided to suspend the missing persons case on Kierra Cole, to the family's dismay. Now, since then, CPD has suspended this case because there has been no leads in this investigation. And unfortunately, there have been no reports made by anyone, no leads into the investigation at all. And so CPD could not do anything further but put this case on pause until they gathered more information. Not to mention the fact that the surveillance video that they thought showed a video of Kierra Cole on her block getting ready to go to work was denied by the family as being her. It leads CPD to not really have much of anything to go by. So as of right now, as of 2021, the case is suspended. It's not closed, of course. It can most definitely be reopened, but as of right now, it is suspended. Now, I know the family has been quite frustrated with the progression of this missing persons case because CPD has not really communicated very much with the family. And I can attest to that, even, dealing with like someone being in the hospital. And I know for sure I can attest to it because my sister was in the hospital in Chicago for over 3 months in a coma. And we would literally be waiting days just to hear the doctor say one thing. And so it's kind of similar with CPD, is that if they don't have anything, they're not going to tell you anything. And for a family member, that's nerve-wracking, right? Because You want to know, do you know anything? Have you heard anything? Is there any updates? Is there any information that you need from me so that you can go out and do what you need to do in locating my missing child? And unfortunately, because this is Chicago Police Department, and even though it's separated by districts, it's still Chicago. And so they're very busy, they're very full. But to the parents' defense, when you have a child that's missing and they're pregnant, you want as much communication as you can get. And unfortunately, the family has been quite frustrated that communication has been very, very low. And at times, there has not been any communication at all. And so they were kind of surprised to find out that, only after about a year, the case had been suspended. Even though, they were, you have Kierra who's pregnant, who's young, and a family that terribly misses her. It's been 2.5 years since the disappearance of Kierra Cole, and her family has been adamant about finding her, of course. One of the things that I saw while researching and reading different articles is that, they have celebrated her birthday for the past 2 years since her disappearance. Her birthday, I believe, is at the end of September. I believe September 24th. And so every year they gather for a celebration of her. It's also almost, we're going on almost a year and a half of the child that would have been born. And so they celebrate the birth of the child as well. Now, the father has also said that he will continue to look for Kierra Cole and celebrate her life until he knows otherwise. And he says, until there is a body found, she is still very much alive to me, and I will continue to fight for her, continue to search for her, and continue to push CPD to do their job. And rightfully so, right? Her father knows, as well as the family as a whole, that keeping Kierra Cole's name in the media is a way to assist in finding her or any missing Black woman for that matter. So what I wanted to do, because there was little information about the investigation of Kierra Cole, is I wanted to talk about something that I've been seeing in the media lately, specifically social media lately, that is kind of a concern for me and I believe a couple of other people. Can't speak for everybody, but a couple of other people. I'm sure that you've seen the countless memes of Breonna Taylor and the way that we advocated for Breonna Taylor, as well as a number of other Black women, including Kierra Cole. There were very genius ways of keeping the attention and the focus on these women. And so there would be posts where they would say something and then they would say, oh, and arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor, or, oh, are we still looking for Kierra Cole? There would be certain memes that would capture you, and then bam, you would see the real purpose, which is on the Black woman or the missing Black woman or the killing of a Black woman like Breonna Taylor. I think that these memes and these posts are vital to our community because it keeps the focus on Black women, which is very, very important. It helps to keep their name out there. It helps to the contribution of any information that may not be known to actually be known and given to the correct authorities so that they can further their investigation. Certain memes like this are very, very effective in creating change and advocacy for Black women. However, on the other side of it is the part that I am somewhat leery of. I'm somewhat not a fan of. And don't get me wrong, I think that a lot of people have very, very good intentions. I believe that a lot of people are really, really out here doing the work. I believe that there are a lot of people who use their platform for the good of advocating for Black women, assisting Black women, loving Black women, supporting Black women, all of that. I believe that there are really, really good people who have really, really good focus. I also believe that there are a lot of people who like the idea of the attention they receive when they post certain memes about Breonna Taylor or Kierra Cole. You know, it gives them that savior personification or characteristic, you know, that, you know, you would praise. Oh my goodness, you're such a sweet person. Look at what you're doing. You know, look at you, you know, advocating for this Black woman. I think sometimes people use these memes for attention more so than advocating. Now, regardless of the fact, you know, let's just be clear that even if they do post it, you know, this is still a step towards advocating. This is still a step towards assisting in helping find these Black women or finding justice for these women. So whether it's used for good or bad, it still is going to be used in some way to advocate. I got that. But there is a little bit of it that is just about sainthood, that is just about making a person look good and not doing the work. And unfortunately, with a case like Kierra, when Breonna and Kierra become really huge in social media and are used on memes and different posts like that, it becomes somewhat of a trend. And that's the part that's scary to me, is that it's a trend that we focus on for a number of days, weeks, months. And then once that trend is gone, then the support that these women receive is gone as well. Now, advocacy still needs to be there, because when you lose this type of support that you get from these memes, that you get from these posts, when you lose it, the attention goes elsewhere. When you lose it, the people that we need to do the work start to slack off on doing the work. And I don't mean that, well, we can say that CPD is kind of a slack off, you know. And we can also say that CPD has a lot of work. I mean, Kierra Cole is not the only missing person. There are a number of Black women that are missing that I will showcase here. But when the memes and the posts stop occurring in the manner that they are occurring, then accountability for maintaining the search, maintaining justice, kind of slides off as well, because the heat is not on these people anymore. The heat is not on CPD anymore. The heat is not on Kentucky to do what they need to do as far as making sure that, you know, these people are receiving justice. You know, the slack is off. And so then they can slack off in a way, because we're not on their neck. And so I hate that we're in a society now where Black women can be a trend, and then when the trend is over, we're done. And for specifically missing Black women like Kierra Cole, specifically for women like Breonna Taylor, that's dangerous, because we have to worry about justice. We have to worry about if the work is being done, if these women will receive the amount of care and attention that they deserve to receive. If you think about this in the same way of like Laci Peterson, the reason why Laci was found is because advocacy for Laci did not dwindle. She had social media support. She had news outlet support. She had the support of her family and friends. And she had people that maintain their neck on the police, and they held the police accountable. And so Lacey, even though she's a white woman, and there is a white woman, I forgot the name of it, but there was an article about the white woman syndrome, right? Missing white woman syndrome, where, you know, they're going to have way more media attention. They're going to have way more support from police. They're going to have way more support from social media outlets, and they are not going to stop until they have either a body or that person in front of them, and then the suspect is going to be found immediately. And so we know that there's already discrimination. We already know that black women are not very well supported in the media when they go missing. So it is important for us, if we're going to be doing these memes, if we're going to be, you know, writing these witty posts and different things like that, that we stick to them, so that the people that are in charge of these cases and justice for these people, we make sure that we're continuing to maintain and hold accountability of these people, so that some of these cases can be closed, some of these people can be found, or whatever needs to happen. And so that's what I have to say about that. I hope that those of us that are still talking about Kierra and advocating for her, I hope that it does in some way contribute to making sure that CPD does their job. I hope that people realize that this is not a fad, this is not a phase, especially not if that person is found yet. That we need to continue on with advocacy. We need to continue on with being diligent about searching and finding these young ladies, and this woman in particular. And so let me know if you have any information about Kierra Cole, what you know about it. Let me know how you feel about, you know, different memes that have gone in social media. Do you think that they're effective? Have you posted some of these memes? I know personally I have not, but let me know your thoughts on this missing person, and go ahead and share this video, like this video. I definitely want to contribute to finding these girls and finding this beautiful young woman that's missing. This is Old School Heart. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.